Well, Tim Pool is quitting Twitter, or X, I suppose, and over a kind of a controversial reason. Now, he has explained his reasoning for it, and I think in his particular case, I do understand it. And we're going to talk about it because I think his reasoning for quitting Twitter, as it relates to him specifically, is reasonable when you actually hear him out. But I also thought it was a really great chance for me to remind people, just about the things that they post online on social media. I'm always careful about posting where I am, not just because I don't want some crazy man in a dress attacking me again, but I don't want people to know I'm not home because people know where I live. And it's not the people that you're like interacting with that you're worried about. It's the other people who are silently watching it. Now, I don't necessarily. We'll discuss it. Outside of a great opportunity to just discuss internet safety, it's also a great opportunity to remind you that my coffee is vastly superior to Cast Brew coffee. This is coffee brand coffee. We have 4 delicious fall flavors that you cannot get anywhere else, and they're all 15% off right now. Fall Save 15 promo code for this weekend. I wish I could tell you what my favorite is. I suppose I would say that it's peach cinnamon, but the maple cream, the apple strudel, spiked jack-o'-lantern, put a little regular creamer in it and a little natural sweetener. I use maple syrup. It is so good. All available in whole bean and ground. And if you already got some, please come back to the website, select the product that you bought, scroll down, and leave a review with a picture. Look at this. I made my first cup of peach cinnamon this morning. I was very impressed. As a person that has had their taste buds destroyed by years of drinking office coffee swill, I was expecting a weird aftertaste or weak flavors, but I was pleasantly surprised. I stand behind our coffee 100%. Promo code FALLSAVE15. If you try it and you don't like it, I'm happy to refund you. I think you're going to love it. Pick up a couple flavors today. Now, it all started kind of like this hullabaloo where Tim put, following the block changes, I will be handing off my account to staff to handle posts. This account will likely become mostly show links and YouTube segments. Now, what is the change he's talking about? Well, the change is that Elon decided once you block somebody, previously when you were blocked, people couldn't view your post unless they have an alt account. My argument is, Tim and I disagree on this, but he makes a valid point, which I'm going to share. Is any one of your haters have alt accounts anyway? I have alt accounts to view people who have blocked me. So it's really not that uncommon for people to have alt accounts. So Twitter says, hey, now that somebody blocked you, even if somebody's blocked, they're still going to be able to see your posts. They just can't interact with them. To me, my initial reaction was, this isn't that big a deal because everyone who hates me already uses an alt account to grab screenshots and post it to their cringe little hate subreddit or whatever it is. But he took a lot of heat for this, even from me. I was like, I don't understand this. So what if blocked people can see your posts? Real haters already use alt accounts to do it anyway. And he says, no, they don't. To which a lot of people reply, I say haters in the reply send more money. Why is everybody lying about this? Blocking, of course, keeps people away from you. Do we know if it will appear in their feed or do they have to go to your profile? Look, it is my opinion that they absolutely do have alt accounts, and most people agree with me. Of course they do. What a ridiculous thing to say. Yes, I do. Here he goes, one of his haters with a fake account. Lol, yes, they do. I don't know, people calling him a safe space. But here's the thing. Tim released a video last night that I think makes a little more sense of why he's doing it. And as somebody who's dealt with swatting, who's dealt with weirdos showing up at their house, that's had like Jehovah's Witnesses sent to their house. Apparently somebody showed up at his house wearing a wedding dress or something like that. I don't even understand. So his argument is that he says making blocked people able to see your posts will massively increase harassment. I don't agree with this, but we can agree to disagree. Blocking can be bypassed with burners, but it's still an extra barrier. Okay, true. Removing it will make things substantially worse, and I will probably reassess how I use X. 13 swattings was enough. That I agree with. And so what he's alluding to is basically he's more personable on Twitter. And so people might be able to find out, hey, he's out of town today, or hey, he's at a speaking event. You know, when people ask me, hey, would you ever do a meetup IRL? I generally say no, because then you have to publicize the event. And of course, someone will call in a threat. Someone will ruin it. I've amassed enough haters for this to be a virtual certainty. And it sucks. It's part of internet life. It's a part of dealing with losers, but it's just a fact. If I had a meetup, like the last time I did a meetup, I didn't even tell people where it was until they bought a ticket. And I made people buy a ticket to get in just to add an extra barrier, right? So that the address wouldn't get leaked. And then I didn't even email out the address till an hour before the event. And then it was fine. But that was the amount of security that I had to do for a 50-person event in Indianapolis. And I still got attacked when I was there. So, I mean, I understand. Tim has, you know, significantly more haters. He says, I agree. If you're public, you're public. So I'll likely just turn down X used for that reason. People don't understand the sight of mind of visibility. Blocking people reduces the likelihood they see your posts, and thus they think less about you. I actually agree with him on that. I'm not interested in popping back up on my stalkers' feeds so they can start this up again. Now, he could block his stalkers. Oh, no, they would still see his posts. That's right. It's not guaranteed, but it is a reduction. And he's probably right about that. Some people are psychologically obsessed, and blocking them did stop specific harassment, out of sight, out of mind. Wall Street Silver says, blocking solves 99% of the problem. Most of the crazies move on and focus on someone else. That hasn't been my experience. Like there is a literal dedicated subreddit that is run by people that used to watch my content. They used to be in my forums because they're using the same username there. And they have no problem posting personal information or, you know, trying to get, you know, calling the police because they think they're worried about my coffee being too good or trying to spread false information about this, that. These are people that have hated me for 10 years. I'm sure they're blocked on Twitter, but that doesn't stop them. So I disagree with Tim in terms of the amount. Like, I don't think it's very likely that it drops a ton of it. But he did explain a little bit more in this video, which to me, for Tim specifically, I think I understand better.
Removes a layer of friction in security. Twitter is not like Instagram and YouTube. On YouTube, I post about 6 times.
Here, what's up with this video? The bitrate's all...
Removes a layer of friction in security. Twitter is not like Instagram and YouTube. On YouTube, I post about 6 times per day. On my channel, we post clips from Tim Tests IRL, and I do not interact with people directly unless I'm reading super chats. On Instagram, I mostly don't post. My staff will post clips from the show, and I may post a skate video here and there, but I don't directly interact. On X, I generally post personal musings, thoughts, opinions frequently throughout the day, and often interact with people to a certain degree. This means a higher frequency of posting and a more personal posting opens up the door for different kinds of security intrusions. Now, we've been swatted 13 plus times. We've had...
Me too. During that time in which we were both getting swatted, my wife in her nightie got put in handcuffs and drug outside for the neighbors to gawk at. I got put in handcuffs. The police are showing up at my house every 2 days. Then, of course, it was the power. When the police stopped showing up, they called the gas company and called in a gas leak. And when the gas company stopped showing up, they called in the electric company. And when the electric company stopped showing up, they called in Mormons. And when the Mormons stopped showing up, I mean, these people are so obsessed that, you know, it's sad to say, hey, it's a part of life. I wish the police cared about this kind of stuff because people have died from this. Like when you SWAT somebody, I view that as an attempt on their life because there are numerous cases historically where people have died due to this.
At bomb threats that have shut the show down. And these problems have been quite serious to the point where the bomb squad has shown up to the property and we've had to shut the show down.
That's true.
One remedy for this is blocking people. Now, a lot of people are saying if you block someone, they can just make an alt account or a burner and follow you there. That's correct. They don't. For some reason, I don't know why, people genuinely assume this must be the case. Now, a rational person who's trying to follow you may do this, but most people who follow you and harass you will generally just stop interacting with you if it becomes too hard.
I haven't found this to be the case with me, but I don't have anywhere near the number of haters Tim does or the data size sample that he might. In my experience, they're still screenshotting my tweets and obsessing with me over me constantly. But I used to have a no block policy. I would just mute people, but then I would mute them and I would see them harassing my other followers. So I've evolved my opinion over the years too. I used to never block. Then I got swatted a dozen times too. And I just started blocking people. I know I can go look at the farms. I can go look at the hate subreddits. They're all still getting my posts. They're commenting on every video I put up. I don't believe it's done anything to stop my followers or stalkers or weirdo obsessed fans. But maybe
the reason
it has
why we
for
block
him.
people is to try and see if this barrier will overcome their motivations to harass you. Additionally, my concern is now with people who don't like me, who say Tim Pool's a fascist. I don't care about Antifa. Antifa knows who I am. They don't come to my house. I'm concerned with people who think that I showed up to their house and agreed to marry them, but then ran away with their horse.
What?
Not a joke. There are insane people who say these things. They follow me on X. They will sit there and reply to every single conversation. And recently we had a man in a dress show up to one of our properties and, as I was told, assaulted one of our employees. One way we deal with this, as I already mentioned, is to reduce visibility. Now, considering that the ability to reduce visibility is being taken away, I will have to manually do this. So on Instagram, as I already mentioned, the staff post clips. Likely what I will be doing is handing the account off to staff so they can post clips from the show, YouTube segments and things.
By the way, none of these big guys actually run their own accounts. I mean, I think Tim does. I know for a fact Benny Johnson doesn't run his Twitter. I know for a fact Steven Crowder doesn't run his Twitter. I know for a fact Tucker Carlson doesn't run his Twitter. With Tim and I do run our own Twitters. So after he explained it, I did give him a hard time, and I still believe that the extreme weirdos are still going to, create an alt or, find out this kind of stuff. But it is important to remind, even if you're not a content creator and you made it this far in the video, do be careful about what you post online, especially that if you're going to be gone, if you're going on vacation. You never really know who's looking at that stuff. Parents, think about posting pictures of your kids. Think about the weird creepazoids out there who are jerking off to it. This stuff exists, and it's uncomfortable to talk about. But it's like, now when I go and do something fun, like when I go to the Renaissance Fair, I generally won't post pictures from that day until I'm home. If I go on vacation ever again, you won't see pictures while I'm on vacation. But this isn't just a content creator thing. I think this is something everybody needs to kind of keep in mind with their social media posting. And parents should keep in mind with their kids' social media posting. So I guess we'll see if Tim really does stop using X/Twitter. I hope he doesn't. You could see this morning, he already posted what appears to be a normal Twitter post. But he, I get it. I get why he's doing it. I don't agree that, everything's going to automatically get worse without this block feature. But everything else he says is valid. So what do you think? You think this is a do or die feature change for X? Also, what do you think about, monitoring exactly how things that you're mentioning on social media, maybe dialing that back a little bit? I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do leave a like on it. If you haven't yet, please do subscribe or follow down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon. Oh yeah, Coffee Brand Coffee. If you made it far to this video, this far to the end of the video, all I'm asking you is give it a chance. Coffee Brand Coffee. Try our fall blends. Promo code FALLSAVE15 to save 15% off. We'll talk to you again real soon.